Square, you know Square, the payments company. You probably know it thanks to that iconic white fob that lets you swipe a card. But one lesser known part of its business that is growing quickly is lending. Square Capital launched in 2014, and it has now given small businesses $4.5 billion total in loans. The average loan size from Square Capital is $6,500. Many big banks won't give loans that small. That's where Square Capital comes in. Jackie Reeses is head of Square Capital, and she joins us now with some more numbers. Hi, Jackie.
Hello, how are you?
Thanks for coming on.
Welcome back to Yahoo.
That's right. Should we say a former
Boomerang.
Yahoo?
Yes.
Yeah, very happy to be here. This
Yes.
place is very special to me.
Pretty much everyone in tech once worked at Yahoo.
That's right.
Well, let's start this way for our viewers who, as I was mentioning, may not know about Square Capital because it's not as consumer-facing a business as Square's payments and hardware are. So tell us a little bit about the business and how does it fit into Square's ecosystem?
Absolutely. So Square Capital helps small businesses unlock access to capital. And that's an incredibly important challenge for small businesses because most are not able to have access. And so that's an issue that is near and dear to our heart. We have loans that range in size from $500 all the way up to $250,000. And we largely work with small businesses where predominantly they've been excluded from the financial system. Credit is really hard to get, and 70% of our sellers say that they can't get credit elsewhere. And so being a part of the Square ecosystem, we have the benefit of creating a risk system that's very different from traditional risk methods. So we're able to see the success of a business based on their payments data and behavioral data of the way they operate within the Square system and offer them credit in advance so that it's always available to them if they're eligible for a loan.
How do you calculate the risk on your end as you take on these perhaps riskier clientele?
Well, we have the benefit of having access to their transactional data. And so sellers who are on Square are a part of our systems where we're able to see every transaction. And we have built risk algorithms that enable us to do two things. We can size a loan that's appropriate for the size of a business so that it's not too big, not too small. We make sure it's appropriate so that they could pay it back. And secondly, we're able to risk score them based on the size, the risk, the movement of their payments, the velocity of their payments, so that we can appropriately provide the amount of credit that makes sense for the small business.
Now, in terms of rolling out this program, has the communication been you guys going to some of your merchants and saying, hey, for 10,000 on the website, right, $10,000 loan, the fee is basically $1,000 over an 18-month period. You go to them and say, hey, this is available to you, or is it your merchants coming saying, look, we can't fill these gaps with our current lender. We need $600 there, $6,000 here. It's not really huge investments for a lot of these companies, but it is the money that, it's the mismatch, right, between the accounts receivable and the accounts payable.
Absolutely, and that's usually the thing that gets businesses in trouble, is the mismatch of receivables and payables. And so this product makes it very easy because for sellers that are eligible, the product is always available. It's on their dashboard. They're able to see it and every day know that they have peace of mind, that credit is available. And that's an incredibly great feeling for small businesses who mostly have been excluded from the financial system. So the way our product works is that on a seller's dashboard, they will see a tab called Square Capital, and it fits holistically in the Square ecosystem. They click on that tab. We already have a lot of their data. We can pre-fill who they are, where their business location is.
So they don't call up and say, hey, what are my
No,
terms?
You're saying we think you need a loan of this size.
Or
if you
we've
wanted
given
one,
it,
yeah.
we've made it available to you. And interestingly, I was just in Long Beach. I met with a seller named Mr. Garcia, who runs a chocolate shop. His chocolate shop was started based on his passion. He flew to Paris. He wanted to learn how to build a business. He always had a passion around chocolate. And we started working with him in payment processing. Interestingly, he started with a very small truck, and based on his sales, he was able to process more payments. We saw how successful his business was. And so we continued to offer him bigger and bigger loans the more we saw him processing. So what that enabled him to do was move from a cart to a truck to a store to a catering business. That's a very typical story of what we hear with our Square sellers, who were able to graduate based on their ability to access credit and see the opportunity to grow their business. They can buy inventory, they could be prepared for a rainy day, They could build a new location. And so it really gives them the financial flexibility that they otherwise haven't had.
And in terms of the revenue pie, what percentage makes up of this new program?
Within Square?
Within Square.
It's a small part of Square. We don't actually release the numbers publicly. Last quarter, we announced that we did $508 million worth of loans that we facilitated. But within the overall Square ecosystem, it's an important product because of the support that it gives to our sellers. The other interesting thing that we launched last year is the ability to finance hardware sales. So if you're a small business and you would like to buy hardware as you join Square, what we've enabled sellers to do is to be able to finance that hardware as well, whether that be a $299 terminal or a register. We make it very easy to access the ability to get credit, even in that context of a hardware purchase.
All right, well, we'll have to have you back, Jackie, when you guys are ready to share some numbers, too, about Square Capital.
Break them out for us.
Come back and break them here on Yahoo Finance. Thanks so much.
Thank you.